What's up, everyone? My name's Paul Rabil. I'm captain for the New York Lizards and Team USA, and I have been playing pro lacrosse now for 7 years and 8 seasons in the MLL. I fell in love with lacrosse not because of how, but more why and what the sport represents. I grew up playing all different types of sports: basketball, soccer, hockey. I ran track, and I think the combination of what I enjoyed about all those sports, the contact you get, the skill, hand-eye coordination, the endurance, the speed, all of which I think are purposed in all those sports separately, but collectively, lacrosse, you have to be great at all of them. And so I felt like, in a way, I was playing or using some of my skill sets from each of those games I grew up in. When I picked up a lacrosse stick for the first time in middle school, it just felt right.
But when was that moment you just wanted to dedicate yourself to the sport?
Yeah, well, interestingly, I didn't have a really, I would say my freshman and sophomore year in high school, I was average, subpar player, but I was discovering, what it took to become a high-performing athlete, and that was, a level of maturity that I was going through. As a freshman, I played attack, and I was on a team that allowed me to, shoot the ball a lot, really. So I kind of stood in the shooter position and took a lot of shots, scored a lot of goals, but it was that moment of, playing a position that I haven't played since, really, but discovering, the level of improvement that, I got from really 8th grade to 9th grade, and then taking a step back and seeing, man, I think I can really become a great player if I dedicate myself to it. And, if I improve this much in 1 year, how much can I improve if I put in, double and triple the amount of work now? So it was that thought process. And then, there was a moment of decision in 9th grade that it was where I was like, hey, I think I want to play this in college. And I think I have a chance to, because I think I could be good enough. And, I had support from my friends, from my family, but from there I just buckled down, as you said. And I was practicing every morning before school. I was practicing after practice at home. And it wasn't because I was being told to, it was because I wanted to.
When was there a moment when you really felt like, wow, I made it as a pro? Like some little kid just recognized me, or I saw my name up in lights. Like, what was that moment for you where you're like, holy crap, this is real?
I try not to sit back, and it could be a fault where I don't, sit back, reflect, and enjoy too often. I feel like there's so much improvement in my game that could be had on the field. There's so much more that we can do from a branding standpoint, from a growth standpoint in lacrosse. So, with every kind of accomplishment, there's always this burning desire to continue to do more and be better. But understanding that and recognizing that, I would say, the minute you're drafted first overall in the MLL, there's this, sense of realization that, you're being recognized for a level of accomplishment, and your hard work is paying off. And now, okay, let's enjoy it for a second. Now let's figure out ways to continue to be better.
What kind of advice can you give to the West Coast kids about like growing the game in their area or playing at the next level? Like, how do you inspire a kid growing up in Seattle or Portland, Oregon, Boise, Idaho, to believe that he could go to a Hopkins? Like, what do you tell that kid if that's a dream he wants to have now? Is that even possible?
Well, it's really tough, that it's got to come really authentically. And, I did a couple of things that day that would really spur the moment. But I find for me, what works for me is just, portraying a high level of energy and trying to really connect eye to eye, handshake to handshake, But if I can, again, convey that message to them that I'm enjoying being here and I'm looking forward to spending time and helping them improve, all it takes is that. And then, the instructional piece kind of falls in place because that's the most natural thing that happens, right? They've picked up a stick. They know they want to come there to learn how to shoot or they want to learn how to pass better. So let's try and really, how do we cut to the core as quickly as we can? And that's, I think that's where my passion kind of, gets shown. I'm Paul Rabil, and I grow the game.